Hello, my friends, and welcome to Dance How I Want to Real Talk.
I don't really give a, I'ma dance how I want to. I'ma dance how I want to. I don't really give a, I'ma dance how I want to. I'ma dance how I want to. I don't really give a, I'ma dance how I want to. I'ma dance how I want to. I don't really give a, I'ma dance how I want to. I'ma dance how I want to.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This podcast is brought to you by Dance How I Want to Bachelorette Parties. I am your host, Bryan Leigh Smith, lifelong dancer, positive thinking enthusiast, and ultimate cappuccino connoisseur. Today's podcast is all about self-esteem, how to build it, how to grow it, how to maintain it, and how to live your best life by having it. So it's really, self-esteem is really just this confidence. It's this confidence in your own abilities. Everyone wants it. It's like this mysterious power that no one can put their finger on it. You can't really touch it, but you know it's there. Some people don't know how to get it. Some people have it and don't know how they got it. Some people have it and then lose it and then don't know how to get it back. Which I can relate to all of these things. This has happened to me, and I have totally rebuilt my self-esteem, and I'm here to help anyone interested in doing that to do that. The topic of self-esteem is especially interesting to me because I have lived a life full of both extremes. If you have low self-esteem right now, it is not all your fault. We are trained and conditioned by society to question ourselves, question our abilities, question our worth. You know, it's like the tied up elephant, right? Like the elephant doesn't even really know how powerful they are, but they're tied up by a chain, but they could freaking bust that chain any day, right? All it is retraining your brain. That's it. You just have to rewire it. You've got to tell yourself new things instead of you can't do that. It's like, girl, yes, that is yours. You can get that. A lot of it is very subconscious. So you don't even realize that you're doing it until one day you're like, oh my God, how did I get this great? Or how did I get this lost, right? We can now retrain our thoughts to be where we want to be.
I'ma dance how I want to.
In my late 20s, I was dying to get my self-esteem back. I had lost all of it. I did not know how to get it back. I did not know how I lost it. I didn't even really realize it was going anywhere until it was like all gone. I was bodybuilding, not eating enough. I was totally bulimic. I wasn't getting proper nutrients into my brain, so I couldn't even think properly. To top it off, all the work I was doing, I never felt skinny enough. And it was not worth it. I can remember being in different situations and wanting to speak up for myself and realizing like, oh, I had this like knot in my throat and I couldn't even like get it out. I didn't have the balls to like talk about anything, to like stand up for myself. And I felt so defeated. And then that added to my low self-esteem. And I needed my voice to help me get the things that I wanted, to help me to work with the people I wanted to work with, to write the songs that I wanted to write, to teach the dance classes that I wanted to teach, to do the things that I wanted to do. And I had no voice, right? Like, how did I get like that? It was from all of this self-bashing, comparing myself to others, and just so much like negative self-talk. You know, I can remember like thinking I wanted something and immediately having a thought like, oh, you can never have that. Like, you'll never have that. The way that I was thinking, I had totally trained myself to think that way. I had trained myself completely subconsciously, did not mean to sabotage myself, but I did. So, you know, I came out of it, obviously, and who retrained me? I retrained myself. I retrained my brain by listening to positive affirmations. I turned off the news. I quit listening to anything that was negative. I quit comparing myself to other people, which sounds easier than it really was. It was, you know, I had to work on not comparing myself to others. Replacing negative thoughts, doing meditations, affirmations, prayers, spells, having faith. I pulled out everything and I did it. I came out of it and it was a long process and it was hard and it hurt. And, but I did it, and I look back and I see myself now and the voice that I have now and the voice that I had then and how I always felt scared back then. And now I know like that I am strong, that I have power, that my voice means something, right? And so all it was just a retraining of the brain. Nothing special, just retrain. It's like working out. It's like working out your emotional makeup. And the emotions that you feel every day is what like attracts everything. Like if you believe in the law of attraction, and if you don't believe in it, or if you don't know what it is, it's like when your thoughts and your feelings are like attracting your life to you. And your emotional self, if you can retrain your emotional self to know that you are awesome and amazing, like so many more doors are going to start opening. And anyway, just like an amazing experience of a terrible experience of being like completely devoid of all my self-esteem, but then what an amazing transformation that I had, and now I'm here to tell you guys about it so that we're going to build our self-esteem. So that's my story for you guys. Thanks for listening. Cappuccino break. This podcast is brought to you by Dance How I Want To Bachelorette Parties. There's another definition, and this is another psychological definition of self-esteem, and it is confidence in oneself that heavily influences their choices and decisions. So it's saying that your self-esteem serves as a motivational function by making it more or less likely that people will take care of themselves and explore their full potential. So it's all about that motivation and having that self-motivation, right? And I know we all need some motivation these days because we're in the freaking 2020 lockdown, at least right now. We're gonna get out of this though. We need some motivation. So like, what better way to get that motivation than build your self-esteem? Everybody has insecurities. It's easy to compare yourself to other people like online. I compare myself all the time. As soon as I like open Instagram, I'm like, oh my God, I could never be like that. And it's not real. That's a highlight reel. We don't know what all these people are dealing with. They're dealing with stuff. So like, stop comparing yourself to other people. They're billionaires in their 20s. They are like the most beautiful people and look like they have all the confidence in the world. And they're like reaching new heights like what seems like every day. And they're like super successful. So how do these people access that highest self? How do they access this like ultimate self-esteem? How do they do it? I'm a firm believer that it is their thought patterns, it's their willingness to go against the grain, and it's their self-beliefs. So sure, we can't change like the way that we grew up or like the people who taught us like what we're currently believing in ourselves. Like we can't change like where we are, but we can start where we are, and we can certainly change our thoughts and beliefs. You must allow yourself to believe that you can have, be, and do anything you desire. Yes, easier said than done, but we can do it. So we have to transcend our current circumstance and see ourselves where we want to be. So this leads me into the Dance How I Want To Lucky 13 Ways to Build Your Self-Esteem. Let's get started.
I'ma dance how I want to.
Number 1, pretty much all of my list, meditate is definitely in there, and it's almost always number 1, because if you can see it and you can believe it and you can imagine it, you can make it happen. Remember when we were kids and like our teachers always told us, your imagination is so important. Well, they were right. It is, and we have access to it, and as adults we need to use it. Or kids, whoever's watching this, like, you have access to your imagination. Meditate. Number 2, be yourself. Okay, so what does that mean? That just means, what do you want? Make yourself happy. Number 3, master a skill that corresponds with your already given talents. So learn something new that you, being yourself, want to learn. And that is automatically going to build your self-esteem. Number 4, glamour. Get made up. That's why I always have like lashes on and lipstick on, and I always put makeup on for all of my Dance How I Want To Real Talks and all of my dance classes, because glamour makes me just feel good about myself. When you look good, you feel good. Number 5, Remind yourself of everything that you have already accomplished. So yeah, get a pen and a paper and write down all the things you've done. Did you graduate high school? Great job. Did you graduate middle school? Amazing. Did you get a job? That's a huge deal. Did you transcend your old circumstance? Yes. Like, make a list, okay? Number 6, allow yourself to be creative. Is there a song you need to write? Is there a dance you need to make up? Is there a picture you need to draw? Do it. Allow yourself. It's all about believing and allowing. Allow yourself to be creative. And if you haven't read The Artist's Way yet, read The Artist's Way. It will help you do your morning pages. It will change your life. Number 7, define your morals and values and beliefs. Knowing what you believe in and aligning yourself with that will totally build your self-esteem. Number 8, catch and demolish your limiting beliefs. Get out of here, limiting beliefs. We all have them. It's time to fight back. So whenever you hear those thoughts, you replace them. So the best way that I have found to get rid of my limiting beliefs is like when I see something I want and like, oh, you can never have that. I'm like, no, you can have that. And then I just work through that and replace it with the thought of, yes, you are totally worthy of that. Number 9, put yourself in uncomfortable situations. This is going to make you grow, and growing is going to build your self-esteem. So like things that make you uncomfortable. What makes you uncomfortable? Is speaking in front of a group, dancing in front of a group, sharing some certain post or a secret about yourself, like nothing too crazy, but make yourself uncomfortable. Do new things. That is going to definitely build your self-esteem. So like at the moment that you're doing the new thing, it's not going to feel good. It's going to actually like feel awful, I'm sure. And you're going to be really uncomfortable. But once you get through it, you are going to grow and learn so much. Your self-esteem is going to go up. Number 10, help others. When you lend a hand to someone else, you build your self-esteem. Helping people helps you. Let's help people. Number 11, stand guard at the gates of your mind. So what are you watching? Are you watching horror films? Are you watching the news 24/7? Like what's coming in? Whatever is coming in is really directly influencing your self-esteem. So stand guard at the gates of your mind and make sure that whatever you are watching goes with your values and beliefs and brings you up. So I always have to watch comedy, and I always want to see uplifting things and listen to uplifting things. So make sure that you are standing guard at the gates of your mind. Do not let in anything negative or... Number 12, kick them to the curb. So are there people in your life who take advantage of you? People who make you feel bad about yourself? People who talk bad about you? Kick them to the curb. You don't need them, and they're bringing you down, and they're bringing your self-esteem down. So just take an inventory of who you're really close to, who's in your life a lot, who you're spending a lot of time with. Make sure that they make you feel good about yourself, and if they don't, you don't need them, get rid of them. Now listen, if it's your mom or somebody, you have to live with them, right? They're your mom. That's your mom or your family or somebody. So then you just limit your time with them. And you draw boundaries. Lucky number 13, heal yourself. What traumatic resentments are you holding on to? What traumas are you holding on to? What problems are you holding on to? What person are you so mad at? Let it go. Another way to heal yourself is find a certified counselor. Counselors are amazing. They have helped me through so much, so I highly recommend them. This is a process. It's going to take time and practice. So if you can work on these things every day for 30 days, you will make leaps and bounds. You can so create your own life. That's all we have for you today. My name is Bryan Leigh Smith. Thank you for coming to Dance How I Want to Real Talk, and I'll see you next time.
I don't really give a, I'm a dance how I want to. I'm a dance how I want to.
This podcast was brought to you by Dance How I Want To Bachelorette Parties. If you're in the Los Angeles area and looking for an awesome bachelorette party, hit us up at dancehowIwantto.com.